have to understand what is the ultimate motivator here for Ron DeSantis. He has made the calculation, Chris, that his reelection is assured. He thinks it's a sure thing. He thinks it's a slam dunk. And as such, his prize right now that his eyes are laser locked on is the 2024 Republican nomination for president. So he's trying to win the MAGA Republican primary. And at the same time, in his own twisted, warped, cynical way, imagining that he's also doing a conversation changer. You and I are not talking about the decision now to overturn Dobbs and the impact that that decision will have on millions of American women across the country, because DeSantis doesn't want to talk about that either. So they have deliberately, I think, changed the subject to what they think is more fertile ground for them, which is the immigration issue.
Yeah, DeSantis literally ran away from a microphone about a week and a half ago when he was asked to follow up about what exactly level of abortion restrictions he supports in Florida. He still is basically keeping that secret for people, although I would tell the voters of Florida, if you think this guy's going to try to get the Republican primary in 2024, one way he's going to try to do that is maximal abortion restrictions if the incentives align. So, I know that he's been a little cagey about that, but at some point there's going to be a decision made and the folks in Florida are going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, and so let's deal with it now. Let's deal with it now. Let's stop him now. Let's end this madness now. We have an election here, and you do too in Texas. And you have to remember that your two governors, Florida and Texas, colluded with each other to outsource cruelty, to privatize cruelty against brown people, and that they've both decided that women are also not worth their time or their effort to protect. Okay, we're not worth, a place in the Constitution. We're not equal citizens, according to them. Let's just end this now. Texas, you have Beto O'Rourke to vote for governor, and you can get rid of this Abbott. Get rid of him. And here we have Ron Death Sentence, who presided over the worst COVID numbers in the country and is standing there poised to take away a woman's right to choose in the case of incest and rape as well. No exceptions. He would love to do that. And also, the two idiots, the two morons, the two lawless ones have colluded together to kidnap Venezuelans. I mean, that sounds ridiculous, but that is what they did. It's ridiculous because it's them that's doing it. Okay? This is what they think about day and night. How do we kidnap Venezuelans? And not Cubans, by the way. And this influx of migrants at the border, a third of the new arrivals, a third of the people who have been apprehended, arrested, turned away, sent back, a third of them are Cubans. Now, why isn't Florida's governor interested in exploiting Cubans? In a word, Miami. Just saying. But Venezuelans, you could serve them up on a platter. Venezuelans, you can go for them still. You can go for them now. If you are a member of the Venezuelan community in Florida, I would suggest you show up and you vote against Ron DeSantis. I would say that you owe a vote to Charlie Crist. I would say that, this is just the beginning of the disgusting behavior with regard to people who are fleeing communist authoritarian countries like Venezuela, like Cuba, like Nicaragua. A third of all the new arrivals are Venezuelan, a third of all the new arrivals are Nicaraguan, and a third of all the new arrivals are Cuban. And they're not going to stop with Venezuelans. Don't be silly. This is bizarre. This is bizarre and this is ugly. And now we're finding out that they literally outsourced the kidnapping. They literally outsourced the brochure making. There were brochures, for Pete's sake, for the love of God. And these brochures actually had listed in them, and we know this because, as Joy Reid gave a hat tip to, Judd Legum, who's got a popular information blog, actually was able to get a brochure that was given to the migrants. He did it because he was talking to a group of lawyers called Lawyers for Civil Rights, LCR, which is a Boston-based legal organization that represents 30 of the 48 immigrants, okay? And so he was able to get a copy of the brochure. In the brochure, It says, get on the plane, go to Massachusetts, and you will be eligible for 8 months cash assistance, assistance with housing, food, clothing, transportation to job interviews, job training, job placement, registering children for school, assistance for applying for Social Security cards, and many other benefits. And none of this is true. You know why? They're not refugees. They didn't apply for refugee status in their own country. Resettlement benefits are only available to refugees. These are asylum seekers. And for anybody who cares about immigration enough to have this very strong opinion about it, please make a note that there's a difference between refugees and resettlement benefits versus asylum seekers who are not eligible for those benefits, and that they were lied to. They were lied to.